We have Matt on the line with us. And Matt, now, it's been busy. You got your shoes on yet, Matt?
Oh, yeah, we got the boots on. We got grape stompers in the bin right now. We're
wait a minute. You don't stomp grapes with
Pinot
boots.
Noir as we speak.
You don't stomp grapes with boots on, do you?
No, you can clean a foot better than you can clean a boot.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So we kind of use some citric acid and some hot water to get the feet and the legs nice and clean and hop in.
Let me ask you a quick question. Now, obviously, when you're making wine, you're not going to be stomping grapes by foot in your wine production, but this is kind of a special event.
That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
Wait a minute. But as a general rule, when you're making wine, it's going to go through a crusher, right?
We do some destemming as well, but really one of the foundations of our winemaking is whole cluster fermentation. So the Pinot Noir, about 50% of it, we foot stomp, stems and all.
I mean,
we're doing that right now.
For production,
and then the other 50%, we run through a destemmer, and we just we don't crush the fruit, but we remove the stems and add the whole berries to
the mash?
To the foot stomps component.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a blend of destemmed fruit and whole cluster.
So
and,
you're
that's what we're doing right now.
You're commercially making wine by stomping the grapes.
We are, yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
Nobody does that.
An old tradition. And wine's been made like that for a long time, but we really like the stylistic qualities that we get from the stem inclusion, and we do it for that reason.
So you hire foot stompers.
We've got our harvest intern Jen stomping grapes right now. So yeah, she's a paid grape stomper.
Does she have big feet?
And good balance?
She's kind of a tiny little thing, so take some extra stomping for her.
Okay. Anyway, by the way, Mark, we do have Ross from Imagine Wine on the line, and I'd like to bring him into the conversation and make some comments and talk about it, but I'm fascinating. It looks like we'll wait until the next time because we won't get out there in time after the show. But Ross, what do you think?
Well, labor intensive, and I understand that, and it's. Are you getting? You're stomping them, but you're including all of the full stems in there, or you say 50%?
Yeah, for the Pinot Noir that we make, it's roughly about 50% full cluster, with the remaining fruit destemmed. But historically, the Rhone wines, sorry, I'm having trouble listening. Historically, the Rhone wines, we've done 100% whole cluster.
Now, Matt, you have a facility in, where is it, in Los Olivos or?
Well, we have a tasting room in Los Olivos, and the wines used to all be made in Lompoc. Mm-hmm. So we've moved the winemaking operation down to Goleta, and we're opening up a second SAMsARA tasting room here in Goleta as well. We're shooting for October 15th for that, but we're going to have on-site wine tasting, right here at the winery. We just brought in our first fruit about 2 weeks ago. I guess it's 2 weeks tomorrow. So we're still kind of finding the groove of how everything works with our new setup down here, but it's been great so far. And 2018 has really been the kind of vintage that because the temperature's been so moderate and the weather's been so nice, it's really given us a little bit of breathing room as we've moved into our new facility and tried to kind of figure out how it all works here down in Goleta. But it's been going really well, and yeah, it's been pretty exciting.
Could you describe your wine for us? Is there some specialties or varietals or types that you do?
Sure, we do Pinot Noir, Grenache, Syrah. We actually just bottled our very first Chardonnays last month. And I'd say overall, for the red wines, because of that big percentage of whole cluster fermentation, they're really spicy and savory and big on mouthfeel, big on texture, more kind of spicy and savory than ripe and sweet. In California, Santa Barbara especially is a good place to be a grape. And we never have any shortage of fruit profile in our wines. So, for me, I find it more interesting to have some of those other elements beyond, sweet fruit flavors to make the wines more complex and more interesting.
But I'm just kind of looking at some kind of an idea what you're looking for in the wine that you use.
Yeah, we're trying to maximize complexity, and the whole cluster fermentation, where we foot stomp the grape stems and all, is one of the things that we do to make the wines a little bit more complex and more interesting. But everything's done in real kind of micro fermentation lots here, so we really have the ability to, for instance, the grapes that came in today, we got 4 tons, 3 fermenters, and we're doing them all a little bit different. And the idea is that at the end of the day, when we get our 10 or 12 barrels out of the 4 tons, they're all going to be a little unique.
Now, the process, because you see the old wooden grape presses, and you're stomping grapes, but what is it? Just a big tub that you get into and stomp around, or what is the vessel that you're using?
Well, we ferment in 2-ton stainless steel.
I'm talking about the stomping.
Yeah, that's what I'm describing also. Yeah, we ferment in 2-ton stainless steel tanks. So as we sort fruit, we have a sorting table it's basically like a conveyor belt, and the grapes go by on the table or on the belt, and we pull out any leaves or bad clusters or anything that's not a grape. And all the good fruit goes to the end of the table into the bin, and somebody's inside stomping away.
It's interesting. Are you using native yeast?
Yeah, we use native yeast. We don't add any yeast. It's all fermented with the natural yeast. We do long periods of skin contact too. We shoot for about 30 days on the skins before pressing.
Well, we talked a little bit about yeast and sulfur naturally occurring. Are you telling me that you do not add yeast to your wine?
We don't add any yeast, correct.
Wow.
Yeah, we just do indigenous, spontaneous fermentations with the native yeast that come in on the grapes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it takes a little bit longer for the ferments to start. Really what's interesting, I think, about the native fermentations is the kinetics of the fermentation. It doesn't start super fast. Instead, it kind of builds up slowly. And since we shoot for these long periods of skin contact, right around 4 weeks, having that slower fermentation is a positive thing for us.
Okay, so you ferment for about 4 weeks. Is that what you said?
Correct. One of the advantages for us, for being a small winery, is we can take a lot of time. We have the space to do everything. The Pinot that we picked today from Rancho La Viña Vineyard out on Santa Rosa Road in Santa Rita Hills, we got 4 tons of that, which is about 1.5 acres. And that's one of the bigger lots that we'll do the entire year. Most of our picks are a lot less than that. Okay. So, being small definitely has some advantages.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Let's make sure we cover things. Your location is Calle Real, but it's where Calle Real goes out and intersects with Los Caneros. And it's it's
right by the 101, 6485 Calle Real.
Yeah, it's right.
We're right across from our friends over at Captain Fatty's Brewery.
Right.
We've got some really good neighbors with those guys.
Yeah. But anyway, and then of course, now you said you're not going to open for about another month, you think?
Yeah, the tasting room we're shooting for right around the middle of October.
Okay.
But we're in full wine production mode right now, so if anybody pops by, they could stick their head in and check it out. And
all right. Well, go visit Ross.
See the site, smells, all that good
go
stuff.
Visit Ross and get some very, very unique wine. And then, of course, SAMsARA, SAMsARA, wine.com.